everybody, this is Amy. I'm from the Lane Libraries. I'm back again for the month of August for the Lane Library Facebook monthly posts, the recipe swap posts. This month is the topic is preserving summer's bounty. So I'm going to show you two different ways that you can preserve some of the wonderful fruits and vegetables of the summer, at least to keep them in your fridge for a little longer. I'm not a canning person. That takes a lot of time and patience, and I don't always have that. So I like to do a quick refrigerator pickle. These are actually called freezer pickles because if you don't put them in glass, you can freeze them through the year, pull out a jar when you need, or a canister when you need them, thaw them, and then eat them. They're delightful. They're really more of a sweet pickle than anything else. They're so good. They could not be more easy. So you've got about 4 cups of English cucumbers here, sliced thin. I like them pretty thin. They get almost translucent as they sit in the solution over time, and chef's kiss. They're so good. Got some onion in here too, just to impart a little more flavor. In this bowl here, I've just done half a cup of white vinegar, 1 cup of sugar, a little teaspoon of water, and about a teaspoon and a half of salt. That's it. You just want to whisk it to get all that sugar, dissolved in here, so you've got a homogeneous mixture. When you do that, you will just want to take a ladle. You fill your jars right to the top here. It's almost syrupy. If you're a sweet pickle person, these are really good. But with the onion in it, it doesn't get too sweet. It just, I don't know, they're delightful. Fill it up, put the lid on your bowl jar there. Do the next one here. People usually say to keep something like this in your refrigerator for like 2 to 4 weeks. That's fine. I'm a risky gal. I leave these things in there for much longer. You'll know if they're bad, if they smell off, or if they look terrible. But vinegar preserves almost anything, so you're gonna be fine for a long time with these. Fill that up to the top. Even that liquid is just it's so sour and sweet. Guys, that's it. You pop these in your fridge. Don't eat them right away. Leave them in there at least a couple of days, 3-4 days, until you pop them open, if you can, because you're going to start wanting them. They really are that good. But I would just leave them, stick them in the fridge, forget about them for a while, pull them out on the weekend when you're going to make burgers or something, and enjoy. We're going to be back next with a cherry recipe. Hi guys, we're back, and you can see my cucumbers are hanging out up here, and since I did something kind of on the savory side, even though they kind of are in a sweet brine, I thought we'd do something sweet, which is interesting. It's not like we're doing canning here, like I said, traditional canning, but I had an idea to make like a homemade maraschino cherry, almost. If you know anything about maraschino cherries, you know that they are regular cherries that come off of, cherry trees, but then they bleach them and then they dye them again to give you that beautiful bright red color. I think that's lame. Why bleach a beautiful red cherry? You don't need to, and you can make your own. And when you make them just with a simple syrup and a couple of other things, stick them in the fridge, let them steep, let them set. The liquid that's going to come off of them is going to be so good. Over top ice cream, some of these cherries with the liquid. In cocktails, it'd be so good, some of these cherries in a Manhattan, or just in a bourbon, or whatever you like to drink. Delicious. Just on their own, pluck them out of the jar. On top of cupcakes, whatever you want to do. So I've made a simple syrup here. A simple syrup is simply equal parts sugar and water, simmered until the sugar has dissolved. So I'm going to do 2 bowl jars. I have a whole bunch of cherries that we pitted this morning, more than I probably need, but I did 2 and 2 with the simple syrup here, and I think that's going to be enough for our 2 jars here. It might be a little more than we need, which is fine. 2 cups regular white table sugar, 2 cups water on the stove. Let it simmer. Keep it moving. Don't let it get dark or anything. You just want a clear liquid. I mean, it looks like there's just water in this pot here. I'd lift it up, but it would splash right across the table here, so I'm not going to do that. I am going to add a couple flavors to these cherries. They'd be good on their own in simple syrup, but I think we can do better. Orange rind, I'm going to poke in, and vanilla bean. I think that's going to kind of make them really special, take them over the top. Vanilla beans are expensive, but a little bit goes a very long way. And they're wonderful, and they're so much better than just like the imitation vanilla that you buy in the little bottles at the store. So you only do, you only get 2 beans to a jar, but you only need 1 bean for this recipe. And the way that you use these is, it's a long bean, I just cut it in half, but then you want to give a little slit, not all the way through it, but just right down the middle. That's going to expose all of these really nice, you're not going to be able to see them because it's too far away, all these little tiny specks in here. Those are the little tiny vanilla beans, and they're so fragrant and so wonderful. So I'm going to put one of these in each of my jars here. I'm going to try to, I might put some cherries in first and then stand that up. Let's do both of these here. This would also be something kind of nice to do, like, you could even freeze cherries now and then make this in a couple of months and like give these as gifts, these like kind of cocktail cherries, if you will. That would be nice. So I've started, I've got these cherries here. Just gonna start putting them in the jar. What I'm gonna do is tuck that piece of orange in the side. I think that looks pretty. You could zest your orange if you wanted, and you'd have like the little sprinklings of the orange zest. I think a big piece looks really pretty because it looks like a cocktail, like what they would put in a drink. Tuck that vanilla bean right by the side. Keep on going with your cherries. You can press them down. We want them to be tight. We want a good amount to fit in here. I'm gonna smash them and make jam, but I think that's perfect. Then, like we did with the cucumbers, take that simple syrup. You're just going to ladle that over top. The vanilla flavor is going to come out. The orange flavor is going to come out. Of course, the cherry flavor is going to come out. This liquid is going to turn a beautiful cherry color, like a ruby red. Hope I didn't get this too full. I think I'm going to be okay. Let's see. Yes. And I think, honestly, that's beautiful. With the orange down there and the vanilla bean. I'm gonna have to try this. Let's do the next one here. Right now it is cherry season in Southwest Ohio. So cherries are plentiful and they're cheap right now. So if you're a cherry person, I would go to the grocery, get a bunch of them, pit them, put them in a freezer bag, freeze them for smoothies, for pies, for jam, for things like this. The texture will change a little bit on a cherry that's been frozen and then thawed. So you might want to do fresh and then can these like this and not use the frozen, I guess. But really, if you're going to use it for like a topping on an ice cream or something, it'll be just fine. If it's a cocktail, you actually might want a more firm cherry that has not been previously frozen. Ooh, that's a little full. Same thing here. Pop that lid on. I really don't know how this could have been simpler. And it just looks so pretty in the jar. I love this. I love how, these ball jars look with fruits and vegetables in them. Very rustic and homey, and they're delicious, and they're so easy. I did this in a couple of minutes, guys. There's like not even prep time on this, nothing at all. So I hope you enjoyed these recipes, and watch out for the other recipe swap postings every week in August. There should be 3 more recipes besides mine. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.